So hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Amesy's Corner here at Approved Auto in Plastow, New Hampshire. So today is the day I promised you guys last week. I've got this late model Lincoln Zephyr in here. I've got it all illuminated. I got the time-lapse camera over there on that headrest. You're probably gonna see a bunch of the back of my head today, but that's the way she goes, boys. I got to get the jobs done before the video. So yeah, I got to replace that AC evaporator temp sensor. It's a $20 part from Ford that goes way back inside under the dashboard. Goes on top of the HVAC box, which anybody that's been inside of a dashboard knows those are probably the first thing put into these cars when they build these interiors. They put it right up against the firewall because you got to have the heater core hoses running into it. You got to have the AC lines running into it. But that's when something breaks in that system. Sometimes you get like a blend door arm will snap off, or something will break inside, or an actuator will wear out, or a sensor, like in this case, wears out, and we got to get in there and tear it all apart. I've never actually had one of these Zephyr Lincoln dashboards apart. I know I mentioned in one of my earlier videos that I really, I like the layout and I like the look of this dashboard and how they harken back to the earlier cars. But that didn't mean I wanted to take one apart. So yeah, I have really no idea how to take this apart. I've never been in one, but it's all pretty much the same. A bunch of hidden hardware and plastic clips you got to snap off. So enough of this talking. This is supposed to take 5 hours, but I think that's a little light on the quote time, but it is what it is. So enough talking. It's time for me to figure this thing out. So check out this time lapse. I got that dash out of this thing. That was one bit of work, huh? You know, contorting under that dashboard, holding yourself up, reaching under to get those screws. It's one hell of an upper body workout. But yeah, that's what it took to get there. It's about 11 o'clock. Yeah, ain't gonna beat this one in 5 hours, but I started taking the wiring harness out of the back of the dash. Then I took another look, and it looked like they made it so you could leave that in. So if you guys are doing this, you leave most of the wiring harness that's clipped to the dash. But that sensor is, let's see if this will work. That sensor is right, I can't tell if you can see or not, but right where my hand is. It's a quarter turn, and there it is. There's the faulty unit right there. And then I got the new one right here to go in. Sorry, just messing with the screen so I can see what you see. So yeah, all that work just for this little thing. Now you might ask the question, why didn't I just wire this up into the harness down here when I made this AC system work with wiring this one in? And that's an acceptable repair on an older vehicle, but this vehicle here is under 50,000 miles, and it's kind of our rule of thumb here at Approved. If it's a newer vehicle under 100,000 miles or so, then you fix it as if you were at the dealer, as if I was a dealer tech using dealer parts, doing it the right way, not hacking into the wiring harness. You know, but it is what it is, boys. It is what it is. So if you want one of these fixed right, this is what you got to make the car look like to get to it, because, you know. So anyway, I got to get this thing going. The time lapse is still rolling. So we'll just get this sensor changed, put that dashboard in, and continue with the show, guys. Well, all right, guys, I got this thing all back together. Take a look. Well, it's about 1:15. I started this about 10 minutes of 8. So I'm within 20 minutes of the book time on this job. That's not bad for the first time doing something like that. I actually consider that I made the time. I did. I didn't think I'd beat the time. I didn't think I'd make it. But yeah, the AC blows penguins out of these vents. Look, feel, look, you can tell. Nice and cold. I'm just gonna enjoy this for a little bit. So yeah, that's time lapse, bolt for bolt, everything you got to do to replace a $20 sensor on the AC system so your AC blows cold. But yeah, awesome, boys, awesome. Another one in, another one out. So take this thing around the block, make sure there's no squeaks or rattles, and everything's kosher with it. I'm pretty sure this thing's done deal. So the next thing I got to do is we got a big F350 diesel dually. I put an AC compressor in it a week ago, and that AC compressor failed a week later. Awesome aftermarket parts. So I got to get to changing that out. I'm not going to bore you guys in a time lapse on that one. I'll just keep it simple for today. So anyways, guys, until next time, keep it out of the cabbage.